The wealthy man snatched the last $10 from the homeless girl and her German Shepherd puppy as snow fell hard around them, laughing while he walked away. He believed money made him untouchable. What he didn't realize was that a Navy SEAL was watching from across the street, and his lesson was about to begin. Chicago in late December felt less like a city and more like a survival trial. Wind whipped off Lake Michigan like a living force, hunting for every weakness in coats and windows. Inside a small coffee shop near the Magnificent Mile, Jayden Nelson sat against the far wall, his posture alert despite the warmth. At 32, he carried himself with quiet weight, broad shoulders, thick neck muscles, and the steady gaze of someone trained to notice everything. Though on leave from active duty as a Navy SEAL, he wore no uniform, only a dark flannel beneath a worn jacket. A waitress named Sarah topped off nearby tables and paused at Jayden's. "You've been watching that snow like it's dangerous," she joked. Jayden gave a faint smile. "Old habit," he replied. "World looks different after where I've been." Outside, across the street, Mia huddled in the doorway of a closed boutique. At just 20 years old, her life had unraveled faster than she ever imagined. Layers of mismatched coats barely kept the cold away. Curled against her leg was Ranger, a 6-month-old German Shepherd puppy with oversized paws and alert ears. Mia rubbed her hands together before slipping them beneath Ranger's fur for warmth. Nearby sat a paper cup holding a single crumpled $10 bill, their only hope for food that night. That fragile moment shattered when a silver sports car screeched to a halt in front of the Obsidian Hotel. From it stepped Caleb Sterling, dressed in luxury and arrogance. He tossed his keys at the valet and barked warnings like commands. Jayden watched, jaw tightening. Instead of entering the hotel, Caleb noticed Mia. A slow, cruel smile crossed his face. He approached her, ignoring Ranger's warning growl. Caleb mocked her presence, insulted her dog, and sneered at the cup. Before Mia could react, he plucked the $10 bill from it. "Consider it rent," he laughed, turning away as Mia begged. Inside the coffee shop, Jayden stood. The chair scraped loudly as he left money on the table. His eyes were locked on Caleb. He stepped into the freezing wind with purpose, crossing the street. As he passed Mia, he spoke gently, "Stay here." Then he walked straight into the Obsidian Hotel. The moment Jayden entered the Obsidian Hotel, the world changed. The biting cold vanished, replaced by warm air scented with polished wood, fresh flowers, and wealth. Crystal chandeliers cast golden light over marble floors so clean they reflected every step. Jayden's damp boots squeaked slightly, marking him as an outsider among tailored suits and silk scarves. Caleb Sterling stood at the front desk, complaining loudly to the young receptionist, Leo. Jayden approached silently and stopped close enough to be felt. "You dropped something," Jayden said evenly. Caleb turned, amused. "Security," he scoffed. "There's a vagrant bothering me." "The $10, Jayden continued. "You took it from the girl outside." Caleb laughed, mocking him. Before Jayden could respond, the hotel manager, Arthur Huxley, rushed over and immediately sided with Caleb. He ordered Jayden to leave, dismissing the accusation as absurd. Caleb escalated the humiliation. He pulled out a coin and tossed it onto the marble floor at Jayden's feet. "That's what you're worth," he sneered. Jayden didn't bend. He stepped closer, his voice low and dangerous. "You think money protects you," he warned. "It doesn't." Before the tension could break, the elevator doors opened. Silas Sterling, Caleb's father and owner of the hotel, entered. His presence commanded silence. Caleb rushed to him, spinning a story of threats and theft. Silas ignored his son and focused on Jayden, coldly belittling him as a tool meant to serve, not question power. Jayden listened without reacting, quietly noting the surveillance cameras throughout the lobby. Every word, every lie, recorded. Silas ordered Jayden banned and arrested if he returned. Jayden finally spoke, calmly reminding Silas that tools can destroy as well as build. Then he left. Outside, Jayden leaned against a pillar, watching Mia across the street. He waited, controlling his adrenaline. But Caleb wasn't finished. Fueled by humiliation, Caleb slipped his luxury watch into Jayden's jacket during a staged collision. Moments later he screamed theft. Hotel security rushed out, surrounding Jayden. The watch was found in his pocket. Jayden didn't resist. He knew the trap. From across the street, Mia saw everything, including Caleb planting the watch, but fear froze her voice. Police arrived. Sergeant Miller, a veteran officer, cuffed Jayden, but something felt wrong. When Miller saw Jayden's military ID and SEAL insignia, doubt set in. Jayden was placed in the squad car. The game, however, was just beginning. Inside the police cruiser, Jaden stayed calm, analyzing. Sergeant Miller hesitated before driving off. Jaden asked for 1 minute to apologize to Caleb. Miller reluctantly agreed. Caleb approached, eager to watch Jaden beg. Jaden played the part, until he asked one question that shattered Caleb's ego. "Did you frame me because you were scared?" Jaden asked quietly. Caleb snapped. In his rage, Caleb confessed everything, planting the watch, lying, manipulating the situation. He boasted about owning the truth. Jaden smiled. Sergeant Miller raised a recorder, the red light glowing. Caleb went pale. Jaden revealed his phone had been recording too. Before Caleb could react, Leo burst out of the hotel holding a tablet. Trembling but determined, he showed video footage clearly capturing Caleb planting the watch. Security Chief Marcus confirmed it. The crowd had gathered. Phones were recording. Silas Sterling emerged, ready to control the situation, but it was too late. Evidence was undeniable. Caleb was arrested. Silas turned away from his son, choosing his empire over him. Jaden was uncuffed. Marcus apologized. Leo stood taller than he ever had. Justice had spoken, publicly. As the police car carrying Caleb disappeared into the snow, the street fell silent. Inside the hotel, Silas barked orders into his phone, but the damage was done. Power had failed him in front of witnesses. Outside, Jaden turned back to the real reason he had stepped in. Mia still stood trembling in the doorway. Jaden crossed the street slowly and knelt to her level. "He's gone," he said softly. Ranger wagged his tail. Jaden handed Mia his cash, not as charity but restitution. Then he called a friend who ran a shelter. A warm bed, food, safety, even space for Ranger. A taxi arrived. Mia hugged Jaden, sobbing. He awkwardly returned the embrace. "Go get warm," he said. As the cab drove away, Jaden stood alone in the snow. The city felt quieter, lighter. He adjusted his pack and walked toward the train station, leaving behind luxury, cruelty, and noise. Justice didn't need applause. It only needed someone willing to stand up.